Assalamualaikum. So welcome back to the second video on money market. So the question now is whether Islamic banks are also in need of Islamic money market. Yeah. So the answer is of course. Yeah. Of course, Islamic banks are also in need of the Islamic money market. Because just like conventional banks, Islamic banks also play its function as the financial intermediaries between the deficit unit, between the surplus unit and the deficit unit. So in this case, Islamic banks are also exposed to liquidity risk. Yeah. Because of the nature of financial intermediary that manage between the liability and also the assets. Yeah. So here the liability and also the assets. So that's why Islamic banks are also in need of the Islamic money market instruments in order to help the Islamic banks to manage its liquidity risk. So these liquidity challenges or liquidity risk is actually on a daily basis. Similar, the conventional banks and also the Islamic banks, the issue of liquidity risk is a concern on a daily basis. Daily basis. Because each day the amount of liability will go up and also go down because of the deposit and also because of the withdrawal. People will withdraw their money daily, so the amount of liability will add up and at the same time will be less. Similarly, the amount of assets also is going to be increasing and also will be decreasing at the same time. Increasing with the new disbursement ni maksudnya ialah kita kata financing yang telah dikeluarkan oleh bank, and then at the same time sometimes the financing asset is being redeemed ataupun early settlement. Some accounts has been settled early by the customer, so that's why the amount keep changing on a daily basis. So that's why it is important for bank to see and manage their balance between their liability and their assets. So that is important. So that's how Islamic banks is also in need of the money market. So what is actually the difference between the Islamic and conventional money markets? So what is the difference? Islamic money market and also the conventional money markets. So Islamic money markets enables the Islamic banks to perform similar functions. The function is similar between the Islamic money market and also the conventional money markets. The function is similar, which is for the liquidity risk management, except that the instrument used to perform these functions are based on Sharia laws. So of course the Islamic money market, all the instruments, the products offered by Islamic money markets are Sharia compliant. Sharia compliant. So the instruments are developed based on the Sharia laws and principles. So with the with the existence of Islamic money market, yeah, so it provides the banking institution, Islamic banking institution, an avenue for money market players to invest surplus funds. Yeah, as in our last videos, we shown that between the banks which have surplus, and also banks which are deficit. Yeah. So banks which have surplus can invest in the money market, or for the deficit banks to obtain short-term funding in order to manage their deficit of liabilities, normally deficit of liability. Similarly, it allows the players to trade Sharia compliant money market instruments as well as to carry out Sharia compliant hedging facilities. Yeah. So, what are the components of Islamic money market? Yeah. So typically the money market will have two key components. Yeah. In the money market, normally have two components. So the first one is interbank money market, and the second one is the platform for trading the money market instruments. Yeah. So there are two components within the Islamic money market. So banks are so dependent on money market that it is often referred to as the interbank money market. So normally people will talk about the interbank money market, because interbank money market manage between those banks who have surplus and also the banks which have deficit of money. So as the name suggests, the interbank money market is actually banks borrow among themselves. Yeah. So banks yang ada surplus memberi pinjaman kepada banks yang ada defisit. Yeah. So as I mentioned earlier, so the mismatch happen. So we call this as a mismatch. Mismatch maksudnya dia tak balance lah di antara liability dan juga assets bank tu. So that terms we call it as mismatch. Mismatch between the liability and assets. So that's why it is important for the bank to have the interbank money market, so that the mismatch can be managed between the surplus banks and also the deficit banks. So first we go to the interbank money market. So generally, Islamic interbank money market is considered as the largest component of any Islamic money market. And more particularly, the interbank money market, each transaction happen on a daily basis, and it's happen overnight. Overnight ni semalaman lah, semalaman. An active interbank money market is essential in providing signals to central banks to determine the volume of open market operations. So it is some of mechanism for the central bank to understand or to monitor the volume of banking institution or the market operation of the banks. So one of the we can say a popular interbank money market is Islamic interbank money market, IIMM, Islamic Interbank Money Market. So one of the important contracts which have been used by the Islamic banks in Malaysia is the Mudharabah Interbank Investment. Interbank investment, yeah. So this is one of the products. Second product is the commodity murabahah. Commodity murabahah, or also known as the tawarruk. And the third Islamic interbank money market that we can see practiced by banks in Malaysia is the wakalah investment. Yeah, wakalah investment. So we will go each and every contracts applied by the Islamic banks in offering the Islamic interbank money market. So first, Mudharabah investment, interbank investment. Yeah. So Mudharabah interbank investment involve the application of Mudharabah, whereby the surplus bank. Yeah. So in this case, the surplus bank ni means bank yang ada kecairan. Bank yang ada kecairan, which is the liability is greater than the assets. Yeah. So bank which have surplus RM, so the surplus will be transferred to the investee bank. Investee banks ni ialah bank yang defisit lah. Bank yang ada defisit, or in other case the assets is greater than the liability. Yeah. So the surplus bank will channel the surplus money to the investee banks. So they channel it through Mudharabah investment interbank. Mudharabah interbank investment. Ya, so ni dalam dekat money market lah, ya, dekat money market. So for example 5 million, ya, so transfer to 5 million. So this one is called as, the surplus unit is called as Rabbul Mal. Rabbul Mal, whereby the investee bank is known as the Mudharib. Ya. So with this additional 5 million, so investee bank dia punya asset dengan liability akan sama lah, akan balance. So kemudian dia gunakan duit tu untuk investment. Investment in this case is the existing investment yang defisit tadi lah. So dia akan top up, and then any loss according to the Mudharabah contract will be borne by the Rabbul Mal. Yeah. Losses will be borne by the Rabbul Mal, whereby if there is any profit, so the profit will be shared together between will be shared together between the Rabbul Mal and also the Mudharib. Yeah, so it will be shared between the Rabbul Mal and the Mudharib according to the agreed profit sharing ratio. For example, X percent is for surplus unit, then Y percent is for the investee bank or the Mudharib. Yeah. So for example, it can be like maybe 70-30 or 60-40, yeah. So it depends on the arrangement of the Mudharabah interbank investment. So that is the first Sharia contracts or the products or the instruments available in the Islamic interbank money market. So are you clear about Mudharabah interbank investment? Yeah. So it's as simple as the Mudharabah transaction. Yeah. So next we move on to the commodity murabaha. So commodity murabaha, also known as CM, commodity murabaha, or another name is tawarruk, yeah, tawarruk, yeah. So it's simply the process of sale contracts whereby a buyer buys an asset from a seller. So the buyer buys an asset from the seller on a deferred payment term. Yeah, deferred, secara bertangguh lah. Yeah. And then the assets will be transferred to the buyer. So after having an ownership to the assets, so this buyer will sell the assets to the third party. So we'll sell the assets to the third party in cash. Yeah? So the transaction is happening in cash. So here the buyer, at the end of the transaction, the buyer will receive cash. For example, we say the buyer needs 100 million. So the buyer sells the asset at the price of 100 million, payment term by cash, tunai, secara tunai. But at the same time, the buyer is indebted to the seller. For example, the selling price here is 110 million. However, the asset is sold at a deferred payment, in a deferred payment term. So buyer akan membayar secara bertangguh lah, 110 juta ni akan dibayar secara bertangguh. Tapi at the same time, the buyer will get 100 million which he can use for the purposes that he are in need of the cash. So okay. So in contrast to macam mana commodity murabahah ni di-apply dalam money market, ya. So commodity murabahah is applied in money market. The deficit unit will buy the assets from this surplus unit banks, yeah, deficit unit banks. So it's buy the assets from surplus units bank at a deferred price. For example, before that, so deficit unit are in need of 50 million in order to balance its between its liability and its asset. So what he do is he ask to buy from surplus unit an asset equivalent to 50 million, an asset equivalent to 50 million. But this asset is purchased on a deferred payment term. So in this case, the surplus unit will charge profit 50 million plus agreed profit. And then after the asset being transferred to the deficit unit, so the deficit unit will sell the asset to third party at the price of 50 million. So these are paid in cash payment, yeah, in cash payment. So at the end, So deficit unit will get this 50 million, but at the same time he is indebted to the surplus unit of 50 million plus the profit, and these are paid on deferred payment terms, for example in 1 days or 3 months or 6 months, yeah. So it depends on the agreement between the surplus unit and the deficit unit. So what is the difference between before that? So all this transaction in the case of Malaysian banks, so it's happening in it's been transacted in Bursa Suq Al-Sila, Bursa Suq Al-Sila, the commodity market lah, the commodity market. So normally the commodity involved in this transaction is the crude palm oil, minyak sawit lah, crude palm oil, and sometimes maybe you can find metal. Metal is also being transacted, the underlying assets being transacted, and also it can be coal. Coal ni arang batu. So okay, so the transaction is being happening in the Bursa Suq Al-Sila. So in this case, the third party here is the Bursa Suq Al-Sila. Bursa Suq Al-Sila, or sometimes we name it as BSAS. The short form is BSAS. And the surplus unit here is the banks. So Bursa Suq Al-Sila ni at the end dia akan jualkan aset tu kepada the real commodity lah, the real commodity trader. So that is how the commodity murabahah interbank arrangement happen. So the difference between commodity murabahah interbank products with the mudarabah interbank investment is the difference is in terms of the profit to this surplus unit. So in the case of mudarabah, so the profit is based on the profit sharing ratio. So we must follow the rules and principles in the mudarabah. So it's based on profit sharing ratio, and the profit cannot be guaranteed, no element of guaranteed, no guarantee element, whereby in the case of commodity murabahah, so the profit is guaranteed. Profit is guaranteed because the profit is derived from the sale transaction. Profit yang ni adalah derived daripada sale transaction. So in sale transaction, of course, you have to agree on the selling price. So selling price is being calculated or dikira berdasarkan kepada principal means the pokok lah, principal 50 million plus the profit. For example, here is calculated based maybe 1% or 2% or 3%. So that is the selling price calculation. So that's how the commodity murabahah gain a fixed profit. The profit is fixed, whereby in the case of mudarabah interbank investment, so the profit cannot be fixed. It should be based on the PSR. Next, we move on to the wakalah investment. So wakalah, the wakalah investment. So in the case of wakalah investment, the structure is like mudharabah interbank investment. However, the determination of profit to the surplus unit is a bit different. Yeah? So here investment bank here, the bank which have surplus of funds, so the bank will channel its funds to the investee here is the deficit bank. So channel the funds, then the investee bank will run the investment. In this case, in the case of money market, so investment here is for the purpose of balancing between the liability and the assets. Yeah. So from the investment, if there is any loss, so the losses is borne by the investment bank. So this one is the same like mudharabah, sama macam mudharabah interbank investment. However, in the case of profit, so the profit is transferred to the investment bank. However, it is after the less of fee. So dalam wakalah investment ni kita ada fee, wakalah fee. So after less wakalah fee, so the remaining profit is channeled back to the investment bank. So the investment bank or the surplus bank will get profit less the fees. So in the case of wakalah, so it's the same. There should not be any element of guaranteed profits for the bank. So in this case, any losses happen, shall be borne by the investment bank. So that is all the instruments or the products which are available in offering the Islamic interbank money market. So I recap. So we have three instruments. So the first one is the mudharabah interbank investment. Second we have the commodity murabahah, and the third one we have the wakalah investment. So that's how the bank manage the liability or the mismatch of fund. Mismatch between the liability and the assets. So that's how the Islamic bank manages mismatch of fund through these instruments. So thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.